What is going on today, guys? Happy Monday, first day of the week, June the 27th. And sorry for being MIA, guys. Haven't been pumping out as many recaps as I would like to. I'm thinking it's more so going to be an every other day type thing where, you know, I take the performance from the past couple of days and my inputs and stuff like that and kind of do like a summary of 2 days. But, you know, we'll see how it works. We'll see how, you know, how you guys enjoy that and stuff like that. And, you know, just in general, I think it'd be better that way because doing a recap every day sometimes is not convenient because a lot of times, you know, there's stuff going on. But guys, this market has me tearing out my hair, every last hair imaginable on my body. No lies, 100%. This has just been absolutely all over the place. Ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. Last week I had the call that the market was going to rally, which it did. And I mean, talk about an up and down week it was until it just began to rally massively. And right now the SPY is sitting right under 390. So off of that bottom of the 360, I'm gonna elaborate more on that when I get to the SPY chart. But guys, crude oil. What did I say here? What? Who's the guy? Who's the one? It's the deepster. He's the one that is here. 102. This literally crude was at 102, 101, 100. I think it was like 103, whatever, in that general range. And I said this was going to go to 110. We want to see a break at that 110 level, head back to higher highs. You know, obviously take more levels to the upside, and then get to all-time highs. I mean, there is literally nothing preventing this from happening except for the manipulation. And I will say that, and I will say that again 100 million times over. Manipulation, 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 fraudulent corruption crap behind the scenes with the big money makers that are moving the market. So just be aware of that, guys. I'm sure a ton of us were expecting crude oil price per barrel to be well into all-time highs at this point, considering the price, considering that we're in the summer months, considering that the demand is at extreme highs. It's kind of absurd for it to be where it's at currently. Bitcoin holding that 20,000 pretty well. I mean, it obviously dipped beneath that, but it's been holding around this 20,000. Again, guys, there is no floor. This can easily plummet in a matter of like 10 minutes. You know, it's all a matter of what the whales want to do with it. And a key thing to keep an eye on is the fact that Bitcoin is getting more and more regulated. For it becoming more and more regulated, that's going to depreciate the value due to the fact that there's a lot more stipulations, a lot more rules, a lot of stuff because of all these regulations that are going to be implemented into it. So haven't researched too much into that exactly, you know, what is happening, but obviously we get any type of crypto gain is charged like 30-something% capital gains or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But before there was no capital gains, so I mean that was implemented. I not like super long ago, but I think a few years back. And as time goes on, they're gonna make it more and more regulated. I don't know if it's for the reason they don't want it to become the next big thing. Obviously, in terms of currencies and stuff like that, obviously that's up in the air. Who knows what's gonna eventually happen? I don't know. I mean, literally, I can't give my speculation on that because I literally have no idea. But as you guys can see, Bitcoin from that 60K high, we are at 20K, and guys, there is no support. It can fall at any moment. So if you have any profits, take your profits. Play the short term. I did mention that I was gonna play some plays long term, like over the past couple of months, but it's just not a wise thing to do. And fortunately, I got out before the rug was pulled here, or like semi-rug pull. There's a lot more downside to come, in my opinion. So just be aware of that, guys. Oil, what a massive move today. So you have Gush moving pretty damn extensively today. As you guys can see, up 9% on the day, which is a great move. Absolutely great move. Last week, I was looking at Gush calls when it was right around the same level. But I'm glad I didn't take it because it completely dipped. It went down to like maybe the high 120s and low 130s. But I mean, what a recovery bounce that is. And as you guys, as I've told you, keep an eye on drip. Anytime there's oil bearish movement in the market in oil, buy drip. That's the one you're going to want to bank on. It's the bearish side of that. Cold and boil. Boil, I believe, is ready to make another run up to the upside. Natural gas is not going anywhere, guys. This is a commodity that's heavily used, and especially we're in summertime months. We just have to, I mean, you just have to be realistic. This is something that's under severe pressure due to the tensions that are going on in Russia, all over the world. Now, Russia obviously being the natural gas exporter leader, there's a lot of tensions there, and getting the natural gas to the parts of the world that need it is imperative, and that's under a lot of tension right now, guys. Today opened at 53, and high was 62. I mean, a very nice move back to the upside. In these low, what a nice entry that was in the low 50s, but it's really hard to determine based on based on the chart, which I'm going to elaborate more on when we get there. But yeah, guys, natural gas, it's a commodity to keep a close eye on, because just like with oil, the demand for it is extremely high, and there's shortages in a lot of stuff out there that require natural gas. So keep an eye on that, guys. And moving on down to take a look at the markets here in after hours. Slightly up, nothing significant. I would not have any high hopes for this. This is honestly just nothing. It's a nothing burger, basically, guys. Yeah, anything in this low percentages means absolutely nothing. Nothing too significant going on. For live updates, guys, and live opinions, check out the stock twits. Trying to update you guys as much as I can throughout the day, and give you guys my first take on any plays that I come across throughout the day. And let's get on into it. As I was explaining to you guys, and as you guys know, SPY went down to those low 360s and has been bouncing up ever since. Now, heading into today, I genuinely thought that the price action on Friday, that jump that we saw, was a bull trap. I 100% believe that. As you guys can see, it went up drastically. Last week, it was like 380. It was high 380s. It was in the very high 380s, and I expected, but at the end of the day, expect the unexpected. But what I expected today was we were gonna break through that 385 level, and head back to the 380, and I don't know, maybe even finish in the high 370s. I thought today was gonna be the beginning of the bloodbath that's to come, in my opinion. This is obviously all opinionated. I'm not 100% sure with any of this. It's at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself, stick to your plan. If you believe the market's bullish, do your analysis. If you believe it's bullish, 100%. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But in general, my take on the market is we're going to see another big dip happen. I think this recovery bounce is nice. I like it, but it looks very artificial to me. Zooming out, obviously we were at the all-time highs in the high 400s, and it's been tapering off due to the market conditions. And guys, fundamentally nothing has changed. There's been I forgot, it was Michigan, some article regarding inflation not being as bad as expected or something like that. I can't elaborate too much. I already forgot. That was sometime last week, but that's what made the market pump on Friday. And I think it's just a bunch of bullshit. I mean, guys, we have to be honest. I mean, this is not the pullback. This is not the big pullback. I really don't believe that it is. The low 360s in the SPY, I don't think that that's all that there's going to be. I really do think we are going to re-see maybe the 330s even, the 330 to the 350s level, somewhere in this range within the coming weeks. Again, I could be wrong. We could see another rally. 100%. I'm not a little sidekick with a crystal ball. I can't determine that. Obviously, I've had a lot of calls that are spot on in terms of the market movement, but realistically, we take a look at the current state of the economy. There's many different factors. I mean, it's a lot to get into. regarding why the market should be going down. But as I explained to you guys, I mean, obviously it pumped due to that report regarding inflationary levels and whatnot. But nothing has changed realistically. In general, the mortgage rates are at extreme highs. Real estate's at all time highs. The average sale of a car is at all time highs. I mean, something's got to give, guys. I mean, there's a page, there's a guy I follow on Twitter, Unusual Whales, but there was a post that mentioned that 30% of people are living paycheck to paycheck that are making over 250K a year. I believe that's what it was, which is, I mean, that's insane, guys. I mean, what a quality of life. What kind of quality of life is that? First of all, you're making that much money, and obviously, you're getting taxed heavily, but it just shows to you guys that the cost of living is so absurd, and something has got to give. And like I said, guys, as absurd as it is, the market is just as absurd. It can go right back up to the upside. Now, but my projections is we are going to retest. My projections in the next at least couple weeks. I see us retesting the 340 to 360 level. I see us retesting that. Not just because I have short positions. I'm just being realistic, obviously, guys. I mean, I don't want to sound biased or anything like that. I love being a bull, but guys, being a bull right now is just it just seems absurd to me. It just seems absurd, and that's really my standpoint on the SPY. To each his own. Everyone has their own. Everyone has their own outlook, but based on what I'm seeing, based on what I know is going on in the market, the pressure to the downside should be a lot more immense than it is. But obviously, it's all manipulation, guys, as I've explained before. And I'm not just trying to, bullshit around and, make up excuses. But the manipulation in the market with the hedges, with the big buyers is absolutely monumental, and that dictates most of the price action. But yeah, guys, that's really all I have for the SPY. I do see that, like I said again, 360 to 340. Yeah, I think it's coming. Now that I've said that, guys, UVXY is one of those plays that I have no understanding of the price action today. Pretty ridiculous in my opinion. Considering that the market was semi-red, I feel like this should have had a decent bounce to the upside, and it never really did. It never really took off. As you guys can see right here, this was today's price action right here. I mean, what the F is that? Guys, what the F is that? With all the volatility going on and UVXY being a very, very volatile leveraged ETF, what the F is this? Like, get your ass up, get on that damn horse, and ride. Like, let's see that damn move. But it never did, guys. It never picked up traction. And honestly, guys, like I said, if the market continues to the upside, obviously, this is obviously a rhetorical thing to say, UVXY is going to continue to go down. We're sitting at 1366 right now in post-market, and I did pick up some shares here in the aftermarket sessions, as well as those calls that I'm holding from earlier today. I really have no intention of selling it because realistically, even if this goes down to 13s, I'm holding. I really don't care. Zooming out, guys, as you guys can see, it did go down to that 11 level back in April. But give me a break, guys. A bearish ETF should be absolutely flourishing, but that's obviously all dependent on where the money wants to go. If the money wants to go to the upside, it's not going to be. And that's clearly what's been happening. It's just been stalling and heading to the downside in recent times, as you guys can see. I mean, it had that jump here, which is what I'm expecting to see. What I'm expecting to see is that $15 level be tested again. There's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't be. So, if you're in UVXY, I think it's a great play to buy and hold and accumulate and just chill. Sit on it. I mean, have your stop loss, maybe re-enter at a better price if the market does decide to go in rally mode. Low 13s, high 12s, mid 12s, anything in that general range is a great accumulation. So, UVXY, I'm holding strong, hodling strong, and I'm not really concerned too much about it. If it continues to drop, so be it. Maybe I'll buy more. I have no idea at this point. The market's been so up and down, so inconsistent that I don't know, guys. But fundamentally, my bearish sentiment hasn't changed, and that's why I'm so bullish on UVXY. Jumping on over to Boyle. I did mention, guys, if you take a closer look at the chart, that there was a head and shoulders that was forming, and let's see, yeah, it's right here. There was a head and shoulders forming. I gotta zoom in. I'm on the. Let me go to the. Let's go to the daily chart. Zoom that out. Sorry, guys. Just bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second, beta. 1 second. Beta is like friend in Punjabi. Because I'm half Indian. I just had to mention that, obviously, just to give you guys a little insight on me. In general, guys, I don't know why it's not showing clearer. I'm just gonna stick to the 5-day. Maybe that'll give me a better painting of the picture to show you. Back in early April, this is when I really was worrisome about this play, because we did see a head and shoulders start forming. I had the chart ready to go for you guys, but for some reason it refreshed and it disappeared. But in general, the head and shoulders, it hits a high, consolidates, hits the head, consolidates, heads back up, and then just absolutely plummets. But when I did call that head and shoulders, it did decide to take more moves to the upside. I didn't expect that to happen. When the right shoulder just started coming down, then it just rallied again. And as you guys can see, zooming in on this volatility, just look at this. I mean, it's absolute insanity how much volatility is present here, especially in natural gas. And we were well over those hundreds, that hundreds mark, and it was sitting pretty. It was actually consolidating very nicely, and there were some obviously news reports and stuff like that regarding dispersion of who's going to be producing the natural gas and stuff like that, or something along those lines. There's a lot of stuff that was going on mid June, that made it drop so drastically as it did, just absolutely fall off a cliff. And now it's settled down here in these like 50s. Is this the guaranteed bottom? Of course not. The manipulation of the market, there's no guarantee of anything. But would I say it's a good time to take a position? Of course. I think anything under 70 is a good time to take a position, and at least just test the waters and see whether or not the trade's going to work out. Realistically, natural gas, like I've explained, guys, like I explained at the beginning of the video, I don't even need to go back over that. But natural gas is not going anywhere. It's a commodity that's heavily used, and it's very volatile times, and this thing can move very fast. We gain traction back to the upside. We'll retest that 70, head back to 80, and then who knows, guys? We might see even 100. I really can't speculate too much on that. But projections-wise, I do see us retesting that 70 level with any type of bullish news on natural gas. Anything that has to do with supply issues or anything like that, just keep a close eye on that. But as you guys can see, the manipulation is heavy here, and that's what's really driven it downside. So keep an eye on Boyle. Short-term price target 70 plus. Let's just see it gain some traction and head back north. Jumping on over to AFRM. This is a name that I like I've talked about in recent videos many times. I love this name, but as you guys know, my sentiment on the market is bearish. I'm going to take an opportunity here to capitalize on some puts, and realistically, I do see a pullback under the $20 level when that happens. Today there really wasn't much price action. I mean, if we take a closer look, let me zoom on in here. Let me go back to the daily chart just so you guys can get a better idea of what I am talking about. I should already have this chart ready. I apologize. Today there really wasn't much going on. It was up in those 24. Oh, I think it was at 24 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is all for today. The high was a little over $24, and the downtrend, as you guys can see, look at the volatility of today. Absolutely up and down, back and forth, just all up in your face, just absolute confusion. There's just bam, 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 can't make up its mind all the way into close. Still stagnant in after hours at the 2270s level. And realistically, guys, when the floodgates open to the downside, this will go under $20 very fast. I really enjoy trading this name to the upside, and I want to enjoy it as much to the downside. And that's why I took puts on this name. And just keep an eye on AFRM. I really do believe, obviously, with market pressure to the downside, this is going to go well under $20. And we'll see how those put contracts play out, guys. It's really all about doing your due diligence and your analysis, and then just kind of just sitting on it, and we'll see what happens, and executing the plan. So I'm just gonna stay patient here, and of course, guys, when the market turns back around, I'm gonna look into this for a bullish opportunity, but we'll see what happens. Moving on over to a name that obviously most are familiar with, AMC. I'm taking a flyer here, and I bought a few put options today. I'm not really convinced, based on this box office, whatever, it said a billion in sales on this Top Gun Maverick, absolute garbage. I haven't seen the movie, but I just, saw a little bit of Top Gun and it was trash. I'm sorry. I just could not. I turned it off after 5 minutes. What do you want me to do? I couldn't do it. So whatever. $1 billion box office. That was really the catalyst of today's movement. I started buying puts right at that 1450 level, and it just completely rejected it. And as you guys can see, there's just a sell-off back down to the low 14s, and that's where it's settling down here in after hours. Realistically, market pressure to the downside, and the fact that this just got absolutely pumped today, $13, $12 level in the coming days. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Mic drop. If it rallies again tomorrow, it is what it is. But realistically, sentiment-wise, I'm pretty stern on $13, $12 range coming in the next few days to a week. Keep an eye on it. Last but not least, IMPP, the penny oil play that I've been talking about, this oil shipping company that I've talked about heavily, made a little bit of profit on my holdings this morning. It's just the price action seemed a little bit too stagnant to me. So I did sell. It looked like maybe, it was going to sell off to the downside. The high of the day today was right up here in the 55 cents, but it went and gone it was like 2 minutes. As you guys can see, this is the minute intervals. It came and gone. It's nearly impossible to execute at the high of the day or in that general area unless you already had a limit sell at that general area. But it's so hard to determine what the what a good price point to sell at is, or what the high of the day is going to be. It's very tough. So I saw this coming, or I was watching the chart as it went up to the 55 cents. I didn't pull the trigger to sell. I have no idea why. I kind of just thought that, with oil pressure, we're going to see another nice move back up to 60. Completely rejected it, though. As you guys can see, completely rejected it. So obviously a lot of dark pool trading, off exchange trading that happened, a lot of volume from that avenue, which is what dictated a lot of the price action downward. What I will mention about IMPP is that we need to see significant volume every trading session to see a large move to the upside. There's 140 million shares outstanding, so it's a little bit on the heavier side since there was an offering and there was 70 million shares or something like that were added on to the float. So, in terms of the amount of volume that's necessary to get this moving, it needs to be on the higher side, guys. Because today's price action was pretty sad, honestly. Very good money to be made here, obviously. As you guys can see, 5-cent spike from the lows to the highs, approximately. So, good money to be made, but realistically, it needs to maintain a solid amount of volume, and that's going to occur. It's a mandatory thing that's going to occur as long as oil price per barrel is skyrocketing to the north side, which we're really happy with where it's at right now. If we're an IMPP ape hodler forever, long and strong, crude oil seeing the price per barrel over 110 is a very good sign. Now, all I want to see is 115, 120, 130, bam, gone, all-time highs. Let's go see them all-time highs. But, you know, only time will tell, guys. Only time will tell. Just to summarize, guys, talked about the SPY, talked about UVXY, Boyle, Affirm, AMC, IMPP, my holdings heading into tomorrow, UVXY shares and calls, Affirm puts, and AMC puts. That's all I have heading into tomorrow. My sentiment still remains the same in, you know, down to the bullish side. Obviously, if things do go sour and market does decide to rally, I still think I'm going to hold on to my puts. Expiration for most of them is mid-July, so still have some wiggle room, have a couple weeks. So, you know, it's just good to let's just exercise some patience and let's see how things unfold. If your sentiment is obviously bullish, then, you know, so be it. You know, everyone has their own outlook on it, and you know that's really what makes us unique, you know. And I think it's great that everyone has their own outlook on the market and see things from a different, you know, perspective. And I mean, that's what I really enjoy about making these videos, is explaining my perspective on what I'm seeing and what I'm believing is going to happen, based on what I'm seeing in terms of the analysis and the fundamentals of the market and stuff like that. So you know, if you have any questions, concerns, doubts, or you know you think opposite, or you know have any questions on any particular plays, go ahead and comment down below, guys. I'm more than happy to get back to you. And make sure to check out the stock twits, posting as often as I can for you guys. And one thing that I will mention again: everything is 100% free. Free, 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 free. We don't get that. We don't hear that term enough, especially in today's economy. So, just wanted to mention that, just to, you know, bring a smile to your face, and you know, it's free. That is it. So yeah, guys, bearish heading into tomorrow. Let's see the SPY retest 380 for my bears. Let's rally together. Let's get that shit going. Or you know, but realistically, we'll see what goes on. Keeping a close eye on futures heading into tomorrow, and I will see you guys then. Hope you guys had a profitable trading day. Peace.